Oh dear.
Hi guys, I'm Chris and welcome back to Get Good at Golf. Is that a kind of shot that you see often? You get onto a tee box, you're trying to hit an iron for safety, we cut across it, and a very interesting strike there. Now guys, by the title you'll know a lot of people are getting this wrong, and it is a very simple thing at setup like we talk about a lot here at Get Good at Golf, and it's down to how you hold the club. So again, grip is a massive thing. It's the only thing that's in contact with the golf club. That is what is going to dictate how this club face returns down to the golf ball. So we need to think about, right, what in my grip is affecting me from hitting bad shots? So a lot of times people talk about, oh, we have a weak grip, which often encourages you to return the club face open. So if you're somebody who slices that might be something that you do. We then get people who have a strong grip, which encourage you to close the face, which is James Robinson. He likes to hit it left. So we need to think about how we get that neutral. And one other thing that we see is a lot of people get it into the palm, so we lose a lot of power. When we're gripping the club, a lot of people have it in the palms there very much. It's very hard for me to get any kind of control on that club face. It often starts to fan open, then we go up. It's very hard to hinge my wrist. We're not getting the levers, we're not going to get the speed, and we're not going to get the control on the club face. So when taking the grip, guys, we've got to think it wants to run through the edge of your fingers, and when you use the pad on your left hand, if you're a right-handed golfer, to sit on the top. From there, what we should start to see is 2 knuckles down at the golf ball. If we start to see 2.5, we're getting a little bit strong. If we start to see 0 or half a knuckle, we're too weak. Again, that's going to help encourage us to open that club face. So we should start to see 2 knuckles. It's running through my fingers, and then when I bring the right hand on, again, if you interlock or you overlap, we want to then get your right thumb just down the left hand side of the grip. So nice and neutral there. If I get that club now back to the ball, we should have much more control on that club face. One other thing, once we've taken your grip, we want to think, right, take your grip as normal, put your left hand on if you're a right-handed golfer, and start to see, can you actually get any leverage in that club? You'll see it's very restricted there. I can't really get much past parallel. If I now get a neutral grip, you can see I can hinge that a lot higher up, which then means in the backswing, I can hinge it nicely into this position here, and then up to the top of my backswing. You'll see that it's not going past. You'll see that it sets it nice at the top of the backswing for us then to bring that club face down and start to get that matching up into impact. So if we can do that, guys, if we can get it through your fingers, get that on, I can see 2 knuckles, we bring the right hand on, we're going to be able to build that stance and be nice and confident to stand here and be able to strike that much better. But we're going to get down now around the green and show you what we see around with chipping and with pitching, while you might be misstriking your wedges.
So fantastic explanation there from Chris using long irons about how to hold the club. Now one thing that we see with the shorter irons, and this is something which can be even more frustrating, as soon as you've got something like a gap wedge, a pitching wedge, a 9-iron in your hands, you're thinking automatically about scoring, you think about getting it close. One of the things that I see when it comes to the grip is the amount of pressure that people put on that club. So if I was to ask you now, guys, what if you said out of 10, what pressure should you impart on a golf club, what would you say? Guys, get in the comments below and let us know. Is it a 6, is it a 7, is it a 9? Generally we want about a 2 or a 3, we want it nice and relaxed. If you go too firm with this, not only does it restrict how you set the club, so you're not going to be able to set the club, you're also not going to release the club as well. So often we see people who catch the ball thin or top it like that. That was primarily, I thought it stayed in play though, that was primarily down to the grip pressure and nothing else. If I have a nice loose grip pressure, so more relaxed, I can generally feel a bit more fluent, I can set the club on the way back, and just as importantly, I can release the club on the way through and get it up to that target for me, just like that. That's something which is so important. Yes, it is important off the tee, but it's equally as important even when you're around the green, which we're going to talk about in a second, because if you grip the club too firm, you can't be consistent, so you can't deliver a consistent dynamic loft, you can't deliver consistent speed, so you're going to struggle with distance control, but also when it comes to striking, like here in the fairway. Guys, just a quick one, we are setting up some Get Good at Golf memberships here on YouTube, so if you want to see some bonus content, if you want to see some Q&As, if you want to see some product of the month, some tips of the month, every Sunday in our Sunday club, then make sure you check that out. That's going to be coming next Sunday the 29th.
Correct.
Next Sunday the 29th, so go check it out. If you don't want it, not a problem, we're still going to give you 3 videos a week here on Get Good at Golf, but if you want the extra Sunday club content, make sure you check that out. So whilst grip pressure is megally important, we actually use the grip around the greens for lots of different things. One of them is to control loft. So you'll see here I've got a nice pretty simple bump and run. I've got my sand wedge, so I've already got plenty of loft on here. I've got 56 degrees of static loft, and dynamically I'm going to try and deliver a little bit less than that. I want to play a bump and run, so I'm going to grip the club nice and neutrally, like we said earlier, or like Chris mentioned earlier should I say, so I can see 2 knuckles here. Ball position is going to play a huge part, so I've got that ball position ever so slightly back. I'm standing nice and narrow. From here I'm going to replay that shaft to exactly where it was to give me a nice neutral shot. So dynamically that was probably more like kind of high 40s, 50 degrees of loft. Say we have this shot here, which is probably one of the hardest shots in golf. I've got hardly any green to work with. I've had a nightmare. Yes, you would probably not bother trying to go for this flag. I'm going to get the sand off the ball that Chris has left on for me there, because that's absolutely wonderful. But if I want to get more loft here, I'm actually going to set the club already open, then I'm going to take my grip. So I'm not going to hold the club, then open it, giving myself a really strong grip, because that would kind of neutralise on the way through. I'd hit it left and it would go a little bit too low. So set the club nice and open, then I take my grip from here. The ball position's forward, so I'm going to try and deliver more dynamic loft, and the key here is plenty of speed. That's probably the lesser of the 2 evils, Chris, isn't it, to be fair?
Yeah, nice and safe on the green. You've got to put, and you're not in here where my shadow was blocking those ones.
So the shots in the bunker, I'm going to go pretty similar, guys. I'm going to go nice and neutral, but with an open face. I can't do this when I'm playing. I'm going to set the club down, grip it nice and neutrally, handle down, and then just get loads of loft and speed to try and get that ball. That is a phenomenal golf shot, by the way, isn't it? Just try and get that ball out and by the flag. Guys, thank you so much for watching. That's some things that so many golfers generally get wrong, and hopefully having watched this video, you won't be one of them. Remember, if you want to be part of our Get Good at Golf Sunday Club, make sure you do kind of hit that subscribe button and check out the new memberships we have coming very, very soon. Apart from that, we'll see you all at the same time tomorrow. Come forward in the bunker. Bye!